Hi guys, Piotr here. This is Liteforex Global YouTube channel. Less than a week to US election. Extremely interesting times ahead. Joe Biden or Donald Trump? Well, for us, for me, for example, in Europe, for the people outside the US, the situation might look a little bit different than what the people in US think about it. We are going to try to check latest polls. We are going to try to compare situation we've seen in 2016, and of course we are going to try to discuss how market may behave after the US election. So without a further delay, let's jump straight and see you inside.
For the latest polls, latest surveys, predictions, I'm using this Twitter account, Political Pulse. Here you got the address of that account. Big kudos for them. What they do, they are collecting all the data from the trusted Political Pulse. So here we have everything in one place. I'm not gonna to get back very far. We are going to check the latest few polls to show you how, in my opinion, how the voters are manipulated, and then we are going to check two charts. We are going to check two US indices. So overall, the latest news are from 2 hours ago, and immediately I noticed a very interesting thing. So the latest polls, when it comes to the Pennsylvania poll, all right, and we have two different surveys, two different polls. The first one is done by Atlas Intel, all right. And the date is the 29th, 30th of October. And in that case, with this small company, they did the research, and here in Pennsylvania, Trump is 50% +1 compared to the previous from that Atlas Intel. Joe Biden is 49. When it comes to the ABC Washington Post poll, right? So the biggest well-recognized name here, we got Biden 51 +7 and Trump 44. So you have the true vision here. You know how it looks differently when it comes to whom you are going to ask for the latest polls. Florida, Trump 50 +2, Biden 48, and this is again done by ABC. That's some kind of the flashback to 2016, right? When it comes to the Iowa, let me scroll a little bit lower so to get the full picture. When it comes to the Iowa, right, Trump is 48 +7, Biden 41, all right. It's done by Zeltzer, right. And the flashback when it comes to the Zeltzer from 2016, Trump was 46, Hillary was 39, and the results were almost same, so Trump was the winner. So taking into the consideration current poll, looks like Trump may win in Iowa. Latest polls, so we have Arizona, Biden 50, Trump 46, but if you are going to check all the latest polls, to be honest with you, Trump is gaining. Trump is gaining the points. Again, Biden 51, Trump 45, but +6 lately, right? Wisconsin, Biden 52, Trump 44, but +8. And the Michigan, Biden 53, Trump 41, +12. Also, it's not only about the president, it's also about the Senate, right? Because there is a possibility, that Democrats, if the Joe Biden is going to win, they are going to have the Senate as well, based on some polls. All right. What else I would like to show you is the national poll. Let me try to find the latest national poll. Let me find the, yes, there you go. Latest national poll based by SPRY strategies, right? Look, guys, everywhere when we are taking into the consideration the big media names, the Biden is totally leading Trump, right? But research done by this small company showing that Trump +2, 48%, Joe Biden 46, and it was done a week ago, right? That's quite interesting as well. So overall, Wisconsin, Biden is leading +8, 53 by the Trump. I think that's very enough. What was the reason I was trying to, what I was trying to share with you? It was that, as I mentioned before, it's completely different for the people outside in US. It's completely different for the people inside the US. The election from the market perspective is gonna be interesting, but I think that the outcome from that election is gonna be short-lived. More with the interview. I've been interviewed by Michał, and it's gonna be the second part of this election day in US. As I mentioned, we are going to discuss briefly charts. Let's start with the S&P, and then we are going to switch to Nasdaq. When it comes to S&P, last 2 months, that's the monthly S&P, big rejection around the 3,550, 3,600, all right? So we see these upper shadows. More, it's also based on the monthly chart right now, some kind of the swing high. So that's positive for the sellers. On the other hand, when it comes to the buyers, that's the big thing here around 3,250, 3,260. We were trying twice to break that previous high based on the latest rising candle, right, before this huge drop to the downside, right? But in both cases we close above. Even more, in both cases, last 2 months, it was all about the open from the August, right? And also in both cases we close above. So in that case, from the bulls perspective, that's a positive sign. So we have, as you can see right now, that's what I've shown you already. It's gonna be very interesting. It might end up towards the end of the year that we are going to have this type of the range 3,250, 80, and to the upside the upper swing 3,500, 3,550, right? Now you may want to ask, I just briefly, because the second part is gonna to tell you more. You have to ask yourself, right, if really election it is what matter, or maybe the different things, maybe debt, maybe overall global slowdown. That could be the case. That's what I'm gonna to watch very carefully. Let's switch to the weekly, because the weekly is going to be important. And here when it comes to the S&P, the sellers, looks like the sellers, the bears are doing a little bit better. So as long as we are on a weekly close below 3,000 3,410 based on the chart I'm using here, 3,400. The lower levels are possible, taking into the consideration range. If we are going to double that range, we might retest levels close to 3,000, another psychological level. That's how I see the things when it comes to the S&P. Now let's switch to Nasdaq. There you go. Let's start with the monthly chart. A very similar situation. The different thing is that we don't have anything yet to the left side. So all about the August low, twice we closed above as of now when it comes to the monthly chart, but very similar to the S&P, we have swing high being created at the top of around 12,200. So switching lower to the weekly chart, what could be the name of the game? Well, I do think, as I mentioned quite a few times, of course, as you know, I told you guys that I'm already flat from the medium and long term perspective. I closed my exposure ahead of the election, because it's not only election, guys. Next day we have FOMC, and then Friday we have non-farm payrolls as well. I do think we are going to double that range, and I think the last March, this one, February-March high is going to be retested based on this break to the downside. Is it going to be related to the elections? Well, you know, the media, that's the paradise for them right now. US election is a paradise for media because they are charging a lot when it comes to the advertising, right? So they might manipulate the way that, yes, the elections are gonna be the most important thing, but from the market perspective, again, in my opinion, it's gonna be a little bit different story. But with that being said, I strongly encourage you to watch the second part of the US election on the Liteforex Global YouTube channel. That's it from me for now. As you can see, market is a one thing. Some pools depends on which company you are about to check. Some different outcomes, so it's gonna be a very, very interesting day when it comes to the 3rd of November. Guys, thank you very much, take care, and see you around. Goodbye.